LOMELLINA has been a classic border area and land of ancient throughways from the Bronze Age through to Roman times, then as the land of the Longobardi, Lombards. In 1164, Emperor Frederick I placed the region under the rule of the city of Pavia. A few of the territory's defense fortifications can be dated back to the 10th and 11th centuries. A good number of the monumental buildings were constructed between the second half of the 15th and the first half of the 16th centuries. The major architectural changes, remodeling them from their original defensive role into elegant Renaissance residences, took place in the Visconti Sforza era. The recommended second phase of the tour of discovery of the castles in the territory of Lomellina starts at Alagna, where the Malaspina castle stands, built in 1534 for defensive purposes. The building is situated in the town centre. It has a tower on its northern side and a terraced courtyard open from about midday. It is in private ownership. In Valleggio, a medieval stronghold designed as a fortress stood here in the 13th century, but was completely remodeled and altered from the 1400s. The result was the great building we see today, one of the major fortified complexes of Lomellina and also the best structured, perhaps because the new construction is consistent with the original. Part of the farm buildings has been reconstructed to accommodate public events. It is in private ownership and can be visited with a guided tour. The monumental complex of the Scaldasole Castle is one of the most significant examples of medieval fortification design in the Pavia province. It comprises a castle and a stronghold. The original nucleus of the castle was built at the end of the 10th century for defense purposes, and the fortified area, on the other hand, dates from the beginning of the 15th century, built by the Marquises Malaspina, the new feudal masters of Scaldasole. It is in private hands, but can be visited with a guided tour. At Ferrara e Bugnone, one can see the ancient ice house of the noble order of the Stradas. It is a rare example showcasing the 19th century Lomellina way of country life. The headquarters of the Eco-Museum of the Lomellina countryside is situated in the splendid residence in front of it. At Lomello, the historically prominent centre of the area, rises the Crivelli Castle. It is a garrison fortified in late antiquity and early medieval times, and probably has its origins in the 10th century, but has undergone a number of reconstructions, amongst which those effected in 1449 by Antonio Crivelli. 2 rooms on the upper floor boast ceilings with 15th century lunettes decorated with exquisite frescoes. Iani Castle is located in Mede. The defensive works for the castle were constructed in the 12th century. Reconstructed in the 14th century, it now accommodates the library, the Ugo Fantelli Archaeological Natural Science Collection, and a museum dedicated to the artist Regina Cassolo. In the hamlet of Tortorolo rises a fortified stronghold, a 13th century edifice at the edge of the small village. Various alterations were made to the stronghold between 1600 and 1700. It is in private ownership. The Beccaria di Pieve del Cairo Castle is quadrilateral in form with an external moat and an interior courtyard. The original construction was built in the 12th century. The building presently viewable was reconstructed and extended by works by the Viscontis, and later in the 17th and 18th centuries. From this arose one of the most imposing and best-known monuments of the province of Pavia. The interior rooms have sumptuous internal furnishings and have 2 frescoes by Tiepolo. It is in private ownership and can be visited with a guided tour. The 16th century castle of Gambarana stands in the middle of the countryside. It was built as a defensive stronghold. It is a brick building designed in a square block without an internal courtyard. It is in private ownership. The Frascarolo castle dates from the 14th century. It was completely reconstructed in 1882 by the architect Vandone of Vigevano, with substantial additions which have affected both the building and its external aspect. Well maintained by its owners, it is used as an elegant summer residence. Its harmonious design makes it one of the best-known architectural accomplishments of Lomellina. The contiguous farming museum, Museo del Contadino, is rich in history. It is in private ownership and can be visited with a guided tour.